What's up, guys? Good evening. Justin Coffin, 330 Sports Show. 1 month until 1 month until Christmas. It is November 25th, 2025. Happy birthday, Bernie Kosar, today, too. Released from the hospital this week, so hope he is doing great, doing well. New liver transplant, and celebrating a Browns victory this week over the Las Vegas Raiders. So bringing in the co-host for the show, Greg Kirchner. This is going to be a kind of a fast-paced show. We're going to kind of keep it quick, keep it light. But we don't get to talk a whole lot of Browns victories, especially this season. So we're going to spend just a little bit on that. Obviously, Shedeur Sanders, Myles Garrett had great first game. Well, Myles Garrett had a great game. Shedeur broke the streak there that we all know all too well. And we're going to talk a little NFL, and to end the show, since it's Thanksgiving week. I don't know if Greg's prepped for this or not. I mentioned it to him, but I came up with 25 or 26 awkward things that you can start a conversation with at the Thanksgiving dinner table. So might have some fun with that towards the end. But let's start with the Browns. Greg, so just overall thoughts on the victory over the Raiders. Not the greatest team, but
yeah,
gonna go out and beat who's there.
Yeah, I mean, the defense continues to just be incredible. But, Shedeur Sanders, he gives us hope. And I think sometimes all you want is a little bit of hope, right?
Yep.
We talked about what we hoped he would provide is like make some big plays. Like,
yep.
He's got that kind of fact, he can make, he's got a big arm. He can make some throws down the field, things that Dylan Gabriel can't do. He did that. He made mistakes, and he's going to continue to make mistakes, but he's going to make plays, and that's pretty cool. And I think I don't know that we're all sitting here saying we have our quarterback for the next 10 years, but I think we're sitting here pretty hopeful and kind of excited with what we have, and let's see how he can continue to improve. He's definitely got a little bit of swagger, and a little bit of an it factor, and it's just like for once, for all the bad things we've talked about all season, like this is a good thing that will make these last 6 games kind of fun.
Yeah. And, what did we talk about last week? Football is an entertainment business. And at the very least, he's going to provide some entertainment. There's going to be some times when you're swearing at your TV because he throws a dumb pick like he did in this game. But there's going to be some great moments when he makes some big plays. As long as he's not scrambling backwards 25 yards and taking a sack. If you can just minimize the bad plays and learn on the job, that's the only way to do it in the NFL. Learn on the job and, get a little bit better every week. And like Greg said, 6 games less. You got the 49ers this week, and then home again for the Titans, who are a bad team. But so we're, at the Bears, that's a tough game. Home for the Buffalo, that's a tough game. Home for Pittsburgh, that's a tough game. And then at the Bengals, we'll see what they are at the end of the year. But this stat's been beaten to death, so we're going to continue to beat it to death. But Shedeur Sanders becomes the 42nd quarterback to start a game since 1999 for the Cleveland Browns. He is the first rookie quarterback to win their first start since 1995. That is Eric Zaire out of Georgia. I don't know if you remember Eric Zaire, but his second round draft pick out of Georgia way back when. Shedeur's stats not overly impressive, 11 of 20 for 209 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. But when you have 11 completions and 209 yards, you're obviously making some big plays in this game. Judkins with 2 touchdowns. Browns defense was the story of this game if Shedeur didn't start this game. 10 sacks. Chip Kelly, who we loved with the Buckeyes last year, gets canned after this game because, they had to have a scapegoat for something, and it wasn't going to be Pete Carroll. So Chip Kelly takes his $6 million for coaching 11 games, and I'm sure he'll be happy to be out the door, and he can be an analyst for the Buckeyes maybe in the playoffs. We'll see about that. Myles Garrett, 3 more sacks to set the franchise record, breaking his previous record that he set. He's now at 18 sacks. He leads the NFL in that category as well. Denzel Ward sent franchise record with his 29th game of multiple pass deflections. So overall, a damn good game from the Browns. Overall, some sloppy moments, especially on offense, but overall a good win. And that's what you got to go do. You got to play on who's on the schedule. If you're playing, if you're playing the best teams in the league every week, you're probably not going to win much. But if you're playing the worst teams, you got to go out and win those games when you can.
Yeah.
Let's talk briefly about Myles Garrett, though. And I know I've said this before. I think we should have traded Myles because it would have reset the timeline a little bit. It would have advanced it ahead a little bit, like to get us on track a little faster. But at the same time, this guy's going out and playing at a Hall of Fame level right now. So what's your thoughts on what Myles Garrett's doing?
Yeah, just unbelievable. And it's just, and this was we said this going into the game. Wasn't rocket science with the way the Raiders offensive line had played, but this was a great opportunity to just pin our ears back and get after the quarterback. But what he's doing, and again, it takes a group, right? And we talk about the interior line kind of opening up those opportunities for him to make plays too. So it's really, he is clearly the centerpiece, but this is really a testament to the entire defensive front and what they've been able to do. But what he's doing is unbelievable. I saw a stat that I think he's got 13 sacks in his last 4 games, which would be tied for the NFL lead if you just took those 4 games right now. So should, and very likely if he can stay healthy, will break the single season sack record. And I think with a lot of these records now that it's a 17-game season, it'd be nice if he could actually break it before, break it in one of the first 16 games. So there's no, even thought of a type asterisk type idea of it. And I think he will. It's just, he's on it. He's on an absolute tear. And what can you say?
Yeah. Yeah. Five more to go. So doing great things. You're not going to be in the MVP conversation on a 3-8 football team, but he should be, if not defensive player of the year, top 2. I don't know who is even better than him this year with what he's doing. So we'll leave that for another podcast, but Myles Garrett doing great things. Shedeur, let's get to him real quick. So 11 of 20, 55%. 209 yards, 10.5 yards per attempt. That's pretty good. Only sacked once in this game too. And you had Max Crosby on the other side. So they have a couple formidable guys on the defensive front, not guys that are going to scare you like the Eagles or something like that. But still, first start, only sacked once, and he did have 50% of his yards came on 2 completions. One boneheaded Jerry Jeudy, just I don't know if he's trying to cross a guy over and then got the ball knocked out of him. But either way, thoughts on Shedeur's start?
Yeah, I mean, I think we had a good game plan for him. And again, he made some wild plays, which we are craving. He made some mistakes, but the 1 sack is great. And again, I think he's only going to get better. And I think his improvement from the Ravens game to the Raiders game was pretty significant. And I'll tell you what, that rollout pass that when he was rolling out to the right, threw it 55 yards in the air. I think this throw got down to the 1-yard line.
Yes. Isaiah Bond.
Yeah. I mean, that was there's only maybe 10, 15 guys in the league that could make a throw like that. So, and Myles Garrett had that wow reaction on the sideline. So it's there is definitely something there. Now what it could be is really a lot of that's up to him and his maturity and his development.
Yes.
But like we said, hope and a little bit of excitement, 2 words that this fan base has been craving for a long time. And, he certainly gives you that. I was excited for this game more than I'd been in a long time for a Browns game, and I'm excited for the next one.
Yeah. Yeah. And one thing I think the people maybe not quite on the Shedeur bandwagon or maybe a little bit of haters will mistake his confidence as a little bit of arrogance or, whatever you want to say. But I think Shedeur, my favorite thing he said was pregame, he's like, I'm the guy they've been looking for. And, I love the confidence in a kid like that. And, he grew up around greatness. So he knows what that looks like, but hopefully he will just continue to get better and better. So
yeah, let's give him the benefit of the doubt, right? I mean, if he was a cocky asshole, like you'd know it in the locker room. He wouldn't have the respect of his teammates, which he certainly seems like he does. So yeah, let's give this guy the benefit of the doubt. People are always trying to knock others down, right? That's the thing that we do. Yeah, let's enjoy what we have and let's root for him to be successful.
Enjoy a damn win.
Yeah.
They're few and far between sometimes. So hopefully that we can stack a few of these. But if you look at, I don't know how many of those guys on there you can name, but there's I can probably name most of them. So let me see who I can name here real quick. Tim Couch, Spurgeon Wynn. I think I see Charlie Fry in one of those pictures. Brady Quinn's very recognizable.
I see Brandon Whedon,
Johnny Football. I think the guy in the second row right is Connor Shaw.
Yeah.
What's his name? Deshaun Kaiser in there. Baker, obviously. DTR and Gabriel are the last three. I don't know who that guy below Shedeur is in that picture. Can't think who that is. But either way, ends a streak. Hopefully we don't have to talk about that too much longer. But since 1999, they get that. And I saw this. I had to share this. 42, number of the week. U.S. president since 1809. And then Brown starter since 1999. So quite the large number there of Browns quarterbacks. But, the beat goes on. Hopefully we can stick with 42 for a while. All right, let's go through our 2-minute drill. One final thought from week 12. Let's start with the Thursday night game, Bills at Texans. Texans 23, Bills 19. One thought.
Steelers are right on track for 9-8.
There they are. All right, let's go to Pats Bengals. Patriots sneak one out here, 26-20 over the Bengals, move to 10-2. Your thought?
Yeah, the Patriots just keep on finding ways to win. And 6-0 on the road. I just saw that there. That's crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah. 6-0 on the road. Giants. Jameis Winston with one of the coolest touchdowns and one of the most miraculous field goals by the Lions. They get it done in overtime. A bet that I had to sweat out on a money line parlay, but 34-27 Lions. They moved to 7-4. Your thought on that?
Jameis Winston just makes the NFL better, right? It's just he's amazing.
He's had a damn good career too.
Yeah. There's something to be said about if everybody just lived their life the way Jameis Winston plays football, just go for it. Exactly. Don't be afraid to make a mistake.
Hell yes. I love it. And he's such a fun, positive guy too.
Yeah.
How about this? Jackson Smith and Jigba set the Seahawks record through 11 games of most receiving yards. So he's got 6 more games to go. They win it 30-24, kind of squeak it out, but Seahawks move to 8-3 on the season. Your thought?
Yeah, a bit of a sleepy game for them, but hey, a win's a win, and JSN he may get 2,000 yards this year.
Unbelievable. Yeah, he's on pace. He's on pace to break the NFL record. Another overtime game here. Chiefs get it done 23-20 in a battle of a couple of the better teams in the AFC. Your thought?
Just when you think it really looked like the Chiefs were left for dead there, that they were going to be 5-7 and 5-6, and they find a way, and they just won't go away.
And they moved to 5-1 at home though too, so good home team there. Ravens 23, Jets 10. Kind of a sleepy game, especially early in the first half for the Ravens, but they bounce back and get it done. Your thought?
Ravens have not been impressive at all, but they are 6-5, and here they are. we've been talking about it all year. They're right there.
Top of the division. Another overtime game. Jaguars, maybe a good bad team. I don't really know how to categorize them. They should probably their record could easily be flipped at 4-7, but they get it done 27-24 over the Cardinals. Your thought?
Yeah, unfortunately, our first round pick just keeps looking worse and worse. But yeah, the Jags are right there in the playoff hunt.
Eagles had a 21-0 lead. Cowboys come back, win it 24-21. And your thought on that one?
Great win for the Cowboys, and they are a very fun team to watch play because they have a lot of offensive talent.
Yeah, George Pickens doesn't piss me off as much wearing that Cowboys star as opposed to that Pittsburgh.
He's finally kind of playing to his potential. Maybe not as much of the BS that comes with it.
Yeah, I think I saw he's one of only two. I think it's Smith and Jigba and him. Only two guys with 1,000 or more yards so far receiving.
Yeah,
so
unbelievable season.
Good for him. Falcons, ugly win, but get it done 24-10 over the Saints. Any thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I just can't figure the Falcons out. I mean, just when everybody was kind of like the Saints were the sexy pick in that game, and then go figure the Falcons go out and win.
Mm-hmm. Baker gets hurts that shoulder, that same shoulder. But Rams just continue to dominate. Moved to 9-2. They win 34-7. Any thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I just think right now the Rams are without a doubt the best team in the NFL. But as we know, it's only week, only 11 games in. So remains to be seen whether they'll be the best team come February. But they look like an absolute juggernaut right now.
And the Browns' next opponent last night, kind of an ugly win, but the 49ers get it done 20-9 over the Panthers. Your thought on that one?
Yeah, exactly that. Like Brock Purdy looked really bad in that game, though, and I think, they're good record, but is there going to be a quarterback controversy in San Francisco at some point?
There might be. So that's a look at last week's games. Greg and I actually take a 1-game lead now on the season. I went 10-4 last week. Greg went 9-5. So overall, we're doing pretty well. We're right at the slightly above the 60% mark for the season. So doing pretty well. Here is what the playoffs would look like if they started right now. So right now, you'd have the Rams and the Patriots as their 1 seeds. You'd have Denver, Indy, and Baltimore as your division winners. And then their wild card teams would be their Chargers, Jaguars, and Bills. In the hunt, the Chiefs would be out right now. The Texans would be out, and the Steelers would be out. All teams that were 6-5 right now. Those are the only teams that have a chance in the AFC. In the NFC, as I mentioned, Rams, your 1 seed, your division leaders, Eagles at 2, Bears at 3, Tampa still hanging on at 4, and then your wild cards would be Seattle, Green Bay at 6, and the 49ers at 7. The Lions are not even in the playoffs right now at 7-4. The Panthers are in the hunt 6-6, and the Cowboys 5-1. We'll see if that tie comes into play later in the year. But those are the only teams that have a chance to make the playoffs the rest of the year. Mathematically, there might be some other ones, but this is pretty much your playoff field. And with a couple of the in the mix teams mixed in there. Any surprises or any thoughts on that?
I mean, besides just the teams being out right now and just some of the, seeing the Bears like it is at a 3 seed. The AFC just feels almost backwards with the top 3 seeds. But it's like, we're gonna have a situation definitely in the AFC where you're gonna a lot of these traditional teams are going to have to play a lot of road games. The Chiefs, if they get in, Bills, looking like they're going to play a lot of road games, and you're going to have a lot of these upstart teams being, in the high seeds with home games. So it's going to make for very interesting playoffs. It's wide open.
Absolutely.
As it always is, but man, it really feels it.
And there's your AFC North picture. The Ravens are now nearly a 4-1 favorite to win. They host the Bengals this week on Thanksgiving. The Steelers home, but they got the Bills. So it's going to be an interesting one here. They're both 6-5, but Vegas tells you a lot of what, and they both play each other twice still. So that's, we'd like to check in with that each week, but.
And you wonder why sometimes we like bang our heads against the wall when we lose these stupid ass games. But look, we win 2 of the games that we could have won.
Yep.
We'd be 5-6 right now, 1 game out. Again,
Yep.
and again, as much Ravens have won 5 in a row, I'm not sure you can win 5 in a row in a less impressive way than they've done it. And I picked the Ravens to win the Super Bowl, but Lamar doesn't look good. They're just getting by with kind of, favorable schedule. But man, this division's wide open, and we just got to be kicking ourselves for not being able to come up with some of those wins earlier in the year.
Absolutely. Well, here's our picks for this week. And Greg and I do not share our picks with each other, and we only differ on one game. So there is all 16 teams are playing this week, or all 32 teams are playing in 16 games this week. And the only game we are different on is I'm on the Colts and Greg is on the Texans. But you can see on there, we both picked the Browns against the 49ers this week. So we'll get to our picks here on that in a minute. But, we got 3 Thanksgiving games, a Black Friday game, Sunday night game, a Monday night game. So it's going to be a wild week of football. And
this has got to be this is one of the best Thanksgiving Day slates that I can remember.
I agree.
Those first 2 games are massive, star power, playoff implications, huge games.
Absolutely.
So maybe that Thanksgiving nap might get postponed till a little bit later, because those are can't miss games.
Got to work in a nap maybe between
halftime or something.
Halftime, yeah. Who wants to see whatever random halftime show they got going? So,
and then even the Black Friday game, that's a huge game. Those are
a big game. Yeah,
and third
both teams 8-3.
Yeah.
So it's going to be another fun week of the NFL. But I kind of like weeks like this when it's all broken up but every team's playing. It should be really really entertaining week. So let's get to our game. This was the line as of this afternoon that I saw. So Browns, I flipped that. It's actually the 49ers 6.5 point favorites. Browns are 6.5 point dogs in this one, with a 39.5 point total. Surprised me though. Browns lead the all-time series 13-8.
That's
Browns
really surprising.
And they're also 8-2 in Cleveland. So in the last matchup, you might remember, went down to the final kick. Jake Moody missed it wide right, I believe, and the Browns won that game 19-17. That was started by, who was that? PJ Walker that started and played that game.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
So just but that was a fun game. And the 49ers for me are always kind of like my second favorite team, just with the Youngstown connection with the 49ers. But it's always fun to play and beat the 49ers when you can too. So let's just do our score predictions in this one, Greg. So I'm gonna let you go first. Again, 39.5 is the total. And again, the screen is wrong. It's actually the 49ers 6.5 point favorite. So your thought?
Yeah, so I think the Niners have very good record. They're a good football team. McCaffrey's having a tremendous season. We talked a little bit about it in our blurb. Brock Purdy looked really, really bad yesterday. And they've had a lot of injuries, especially on the defensive side of the football. So they're not kind of the same vaunted 49ers defense as they've been, but they are doing a good job. Robert Saleh doing a good job with what he's got there. They're still going to play physical brand of football. We're going to see a lot of CMC. We're going to see a lot of Kittle. But this defense is up to the task. And McCaffrey, for as good as he's been this year, I heard he's averaging the lowest number of yards per carry in his career. He's doing a great job catching out of the backfield. But I like our defense to be successful because it's just and again, I don't really trust what I'm seeing out of Purdy. So I think it's going to be an ugly type, grind it out sort of game, a lot of defense. And I'm going to go 16-13 Browns, maybe winning with the late field goal.
Well, we are both on the under in this game. So Greg's going 16-13. I'm going to go 20 to 17 Browns. I think it's going to be close. One other note from the 49ers defense. I know you mentioned Robert Saleh, but the 49ers actually have less sacks as a team than Myles Garrett does on the season. So that'll tell you, they still are a really good team. They're 8-4, but they've squeaked by in some of these games. So again, maybe this is one where we're starting to get a little overly confident with the Browns after one victory over a bad team. But you know what? Let's have a little fun with it.
That's it.
And, let's go.
I said I wouldn't pick them until they showed me something, and now they showed me something. So here we go.
Show me something, and they finally did. So, all right. This was going to be our quicker of the two shows, but we are going to awkward topics of conversation to bring up at Thanksgiving. If you guys out there have any comments, I would love to hear them. And I want to be as generic as possible. I don't want it overly specific, if that makes sense. But I came up with a whole freaking shit ton of comments here, or questions more so. But Greg, do you want me to lead off, or do you have any?
No, you go ahead and lead off, and I can kind of build off of what you have.
All right. So I thought the very first thing you could all do is, you're sitting around, you're ready to dig in, go. All right, let's all go around the table and let's say who we voted for in the 2024 election. So that's a good conversation.
And this has been the case forever, but especially now, any discussion on politics needs to kind of be tabled. Unintended.
If someone makes a dumb comment at the table, and another question that could be asked was, did your mom take a lot of Tylenol when she was pregnant with you?
Oh my gosh.
Next one. If RFK Jr. was coming to Thanksgiving dinner, what would he bring? Would he bring a turkey, a ham, a whale, or a bear? All right. Yeah. All right. This one, I might lose some followers on this one, but you know what? Will be worth it. When do you think Mrs. Charlie Kirk and JD Vance are going to get remarried?
Oh boy. Yeah, that would be a little awkward.
That's the whole point of this purpose here. That's what we're doing. Next question. Where do you fall on the Israel-Palestine debate? Another one that maybe a good one for Grandma. What's your thoughts on abortion?
Oh, jeez.
These tariffs, Grandma. These Thanksgiving turkeys are getting a little bit expensive. What's your thoughts on these tariffs? And she'll probably retort with something about egg prices or something. So, all right. Here's one a little lighter, but still can bring people to the table. You think this 3i Atlas is just an asteroid passing by, or do you think it'll kill us next month? How about this one? I'm talking about AI. Those some of those movies like Terminator or iRobot. When do you think that's going to come to real life and the AI robots are going to actually kill us? Probably sooner than later. It's a good Thanksgiving conversation.
It's a great, light dinner conversation.
Here's one that'll get people going on no matter what side of the aisle. Who do you think's in that Epstein file?
Definitely a theme to all these. Absolutely.
Next one. Just wanted to make sure. Is everyone at this table vaccinated? No, nothing. Here's a good one to ask Grandpa at the table. Does Sydney Sweeney really have great genes?
Yes.
The answer is always yes. How many of you people at this table are on Ozempic? Here's one, especially for the older crowd. What's your thoughts on LGBTQ and gender identity? Where do you fall on that? And after that, maybe you can discuss the Second Amendment. Good one. That's always a good one. Here's one I need to know as a baseline for just about any person. Do you put your shopping cart away at the grocery store?
Very important.
If the answer is no, get the hell out of my Thanksgiving table. Here's one with holidays coming up. Die Hard, Christmas movie or no? That's a little lighter.
Yeah.
All right, here's one, a Browns related one. Do you think Kevin Stefanski's a racist for not playing Shedeur?
That's good. This is very good.
When do you think the government's going to let us know about the aliens? Where do you fall on the death penalty? How about that? Do you think Mr. Trump is going to make America great again by running for a third term?
Oh my God.
And then I'm gonna lay off this one. Don't want to get too crazy. Immigration and ICE. Where do you fall on that stance? And here's one just for the fun of it, and more of a conversation starter with the maybe if you're like college age to an adult male age. So is it weird that 11 from Stranger Things is kind of hot, knowing she's in her mid-20s, but she's playing like a high school character? I mean, Stranger Things comes out tomorrow, so it's topical. So why not? Oh man, price of eggs, those are a lot too. So those are some good conversation starters if you want them for Thanksgiving. Your family will thank me. So why don't you go out? You got any good more ones to add to that table?
You had some pretty good ones. I was just thinking more just the generic, like weird, like your aunt gets drunk and talks about how long it's been since your uncle's stuffed her turkey, and or like, or just the weird, like, always stems from somebody getting drunk, like, right? Somebody gets drunk and some old, like, some old beef comes up, and it just it's like when you hearing that kind of stuff is more like we all love our family, right? You bring a lot of people together. Thanksgiving's great. We're thankful and all that stuff. This is why we enjoy football and Thanksgiving too, right? It's like keep the conversation to a kind of minimum, right? We can spend time together. We can spend very quality time together watching a football game, and we just don't have to talk the whole time.
Right.
Because there's really, once you kind of run out of the easy stuff to talk about, then all it takes is one person to say the wrong thing or
exactly
there, and we're off the rails.
There was a great SNL skit with when that Adele song "Hello" was real big. That was a few years ago. So if you just Google SNL Adele "Hello." But it's people around the Thanksgiving table talking about like things like I just brought up, and then anytime a controversy, they would just play that song, and then everyone busts out singing. So that's a good one to go Google if you want. And then obviously Adam Sandler, the Thanksgiving song, you got to listen to that. So
yeah.
All right, we're gonna close out in a minute. Any final thoughts on any of that stuff? Browns related?
That was really good. Yeah, we talked about it in the last podcast. Great week. Thanks. I do like Thanksgiving's a great holiday. It's nice. Like it's an American holiday, right? And it's like, it doesn't, it's kind of celebrated by all, and it's just something that we can all kind of share. And you got your football, you got your fall, got your food, and maybe a little bit of an awkward dinner conversation and family drama, depending on who shows up. But all in all, really good holiday, and looking forward to the next 5 days of not working, watching a lot of football and eating a lot of food.
All right. Well, with that said, go Browns, go Buckeyes. Everybody have a happy Thanksgiving. We're going to close out there. Greg, appreciate you, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you for listening to this show on Youngstown Studio. This is original Youngstown content. Feel free to share our videos and tell your friends about us.